Well, seems we have something breaking yet again. So, hello everyone. Yeah, stream broke again. Anyway, how is everyone today? Welcome to the stream that is buggier than usual. In fact, let me try something. Let me just see if something works. Is working now. Now I just need to fix the overlay. Okay. Ignore the mouth because the mouth is currently tied to the music because it has to go through Wavelink, which is what the mouth is also tied to because my audio routing software broke and basically stream broke. What else is new? So yes, welcome. Now that we have music, sort of, and we have the stream working, sort of, and we have the stream deck hooked up, sort of, I can say hello and say welcome and say that I fixed the problems we were having yesterday. So let us get into what was going on yesterday. By the way, how does the music sound? Is it too quiet, too loud? Just want to make sure that I get those levels right. Because it's coming through a different source and it looks like it may be a bit too quiet. But I can always up the volume. Which, yes, the issue yesterday was that I found a bug either in OBS or macOS. Now, one of those is potentially easier to fix. Okay, it's potentially a bit quiet. It's because I have it coming through. If I bring up Wavelink, I have it coming through here. So what I can do is it is at max volume here, but I can up that. I think that is roughly about where I have it, looking at how it's coming through. And what I can do is if I bring it down my monitor and bring that back down to where it was. What? Okay, so let's bring that up to full. And bring that to about there. Okay, that should hopefully be better. So, yes, what I was fighting with was a bug, potentially in OBS or potentially in macOS, but it's to do with the new capture stuff, and it's a weird bug. So what happened was previously I had this overlay set up as a display capture, and my screen setup was a display capture underneath, and I would chroma key out the overlay to show the display underneath. Now, the reason I was using a display capture for the overlay was because window capture on the Mac in OBS was naff. It lagged after a while, and when you're using something and you are pressing controls and generally watching the OBS view rather than the actual stream view, it would, well, yeah, you'd get like several second controller lag on it, which is not good. So what I did when OBS 28 came out is I switched to the new capture stuff, because Apple have released some new technology to efficiently capture displays and windows and all stuff like that. Unfortunately, there's either a bug in how OBS is using it, which is Apple's fault because Apple implemented it in OBS for them, or there's a bug in this new technology, in which case it's Apple's fault because Apple wrote the technology. So either way, it's Apple's fault. But, and this is where it gets weird. So I have a window capture capturing the overlay, and I have a display capture capturing my screen. Anyone want to take a guess whether it was the window capture capturing my overlay that caused the overlay to start freezing up, or whether it was the display capture capturing a completely separate monitor that was causing the overlay to freeze up? I'll give you a clue. It's not the obvious one. So the window capture, I'm using the new window capture now, and it is fantastic. I can capture on a separate display without my cursor appearing over, without other windows appearing over, and I can do it 1080p. This is all fantastic. However, I've had to go back to the old display capture because it turns out it's the new display capture. And do you want to know what's fun? It isn't just my overlay that breaks. So I did a test with the Unity sample project that they provide, and I did just a very small tweak to like basically use the new input system and make sure that it could take inputs in the background, because it was the easiest way to get some movement while it's in the background rather than me having to animate something. So I did that, and I discovered that you don't even need to be capturing the Unity window. It just needs to be on a different monitor than you have a display capture, and it will start freezing up. So this happens to any Unity thing. Now, if you are capturing a game, it isn't generally going to be okay, because you're generally going to be capturing that game and have that game at the front. But if you have something in the background, it is going to start breaking. And you know what uses Unity? My overlay. Do you know what else uses Unity? And this is going to affect more people. ViadoTube. Yes, ViadoTube, which many people use for 2D VTubing and PNG tubers, uses Unity. So this will be affected by that, where if you do a window capture of it and stick it on another monitor, and then do a display capture of your actual display, it will start freezing up. So that's a problem. Now, the way around it, and the way I've found to solve it, is to use the new window capture, which is brilliant. Honestly, it's working pretty much flawlessly. But use the old display capture and wait until I fix, either in OBS or in macOS. Now, if it's in OBS, I've been in touch with the devs of OBS, I've found a bug, they've got all the information, so hopefully they can find it, or at least get the people at Apple who implemented the feature to take a look. Otherwise, I've got to get in touch with Apple, and Apple is, well, we're in space. So come over here. You see this vastness of space, and all those dots out there, they are stars. And in that dark vastness that is darker than darkness, there are some things that are even darker than darkness called black holes. Black holes where things go in and never come out. Black holes are notorious because nothing can escape them, not even light. Black holes pale in comparison to Apple's bug reporting system. Apple's bug reporting system, you could throw black holes in there and the black holes would never be seen again. It is that much of a... it is like black hole 2.0. So yes, if I had to report in there, probably nothing gets fixed. Right, whatever this issue is, it may already have been fixed in macOS 13. Don't know until that comes out because I'm not installing beta software, no matter how much it breaks things. But yeah, but given the fact that OBS is open source, given the fact that Apple implemented this new technology in OBS, hopefully they will see that. And then hopefully they will see that there's an issue and they will be able to fix it either in OBS, if it's an OBS issue, or in macOS. And hopefully that way they will at least see there are problems. So, yeah. Fun. Anyway, let us go and do some work. So yes, if I head over here, we can see Wavelink, which I have up. Oh, I also managed, I believe. In fact, let's check this. If I just do that, I will open up console. And then I can get rid of that because that's now on another display. I can go to log reports, player. And what you know, that all seems to be working. Let me try. Hey, it worked. It may have gone in here. There it is. Collision box may not be perfect, but yes, so channel points work because I figured out what went wrong with all the stuff yesterday, well, with everything breaking, which is when everything restarts, like when I get some issues with whatchamacallit, what's it called? With the authentication, which I think I figured the issue with the authentication. I think I just did not have the correct positions for subscriber stuff. But when I have those set up correctly, it has to restart things. And the thing is, when it was restarting, it was not calling all of my code to set it up correctly. Instead, it was effectively throwing only setting up the channel points, which is why all the redeems worked fine, but follow alerts and raid alerts and all that stuff would break. So hopefully now it is all set up correctly so that things like raids, followers, I can't remember whether subscribers are set up in this build, but they may be worked. So yeah, I did that after stream. I also did a few more fixes to the Pokebot new model after the stream. I'm going to be doing some more of that later, but for now we actually want to get some work done on Coppice. So what we are going to be doing is we shall be getting selection working. Now last time, if I what can I get rid of? I don't need that open, don't need that open, don't need that open. Okay, so if I build and run, we will have a look-see here. So we got all our highlighting of links doing. What we want is to be able to select these and basically have a click on these, shift click, and basically have the selection work on the arrows as well as the pages. Now, what we have is we currently have selected pages. We probably want a selected links, but fundamentally what we want is just selected items. We need a more general point here. for links, because I think we've only implemented in Canvas layout engine. I think all of our link stuff is only implemented in here and not in this protocol. Okay, so what we need... We've got layout engine page. We have layout engine link. So yeah, what we want is just a general layout engine item. And what this layout engine item is going to do is it's going to be a parent class here, and it needs an ID. We need selected. A layout engine. And probably a layout frame, because I believe this has... There we are. Layout frame. But we could define it as a protocol. Potentially. That could be useful. Hey Sinister, how are you doing today? Oh, I actually got a notification as well. Where is it? Yes, apparently my, where are they? My headphones may be coming soon. When does it say they're coming? Because I've got these new headphones that should hopefully arrive soon. Yeah, they received the parcel on Saturday, so hopefully, fingers crossed, maybe tomorrow I may get them. So if they arrive before the stream, that would be great, because I'll get to try them out and have something a bit more comfortable than these earbuds. It's kind of annoying that my AirPods cause so many audio issues, because if they worked just fine, they'd be okay. But then again, I couldn't monitor. I need something wired to really monitor, because otherwise even with AirPods, you're still going to have latency issues, which if you're hearing your voice back is annoying. So yeah, right. So do we want this as a protocol or a class? Is there any reason to make it one or the other? That canvas page, extended selection. There's view controller, toggle, selection, update, selection. Okay, so that is done there. The thing is, you can still pass a page in if we make it the same. So here we want the select, deselect all, okay. Pages in canvas rect, I think, is just... Yeah, that's just for the drag event, so we can just have that items in canvas rect. Page at canvas point. Item under mouse is a page, is a link. Yeah, so we could get rid of this and just set it that way. So that is a good thing. Move page to front. Well, only a page can move to front. So good. Modified. Okay, so yeah, I just realized I was muted before you said that, Sinister. So I'm guessing nobody heard me ask, how is everyone's Sunday going? Are you up to much? Is it just a lazy Sunday for you? Got any big plans? Okay, let's have a look here. So for modified, I think this needs to stay as pages because there's no reason to do that for links. Same for finish modifying. We may change that. We may change these at some point in the future. I mean, you could pass it in and then it just gets of split it up into... Well, that's a fair point. We could pass it in and then have some extensions on array that let you just get all the pages or all the things of a particular type. So that is doable because then we could make these generic and it would do it. That needs to be converted. So we need to convert that, can convert those. That doesn't need to be converted. That does need to be converted. That does. They do. That does. So the only thing that doesn't need to be converted is start editing and move page to front. Let's see. You were given one of the largest assignments you've ever seen. It's due in 2 weeks. Yep, that sounds like university. I am very familiar of the, oh, here's a lot of stuff to do and it needs to be done yesterday. Let's see. Going good. Just got laundry hung up and now going to do meal prep for next week, giving keto another try. Other than that, got an afternoon of rigging research for our games this evening. Rigging research sounds like fun. How was your stream, by the way, Kieran? I unfortunately couldn't see it because I was out this morning shopping and then was cleaning the, rushing to get some food and get a bit of cleaning done before the stream, and then had to sort out the stream. So it's been a bit of a rush this morning. But yeah. Yeah, Sinister, hopefully you managed to get that assignment done. And but yeah, for me, it was just doing all those bits and bobs this morning, and then I haven't actually checked. Do I have? Okay, there's no cancellation in my D&D game tonight, so I may be playing D&D tonight. So hopefully that goes well. But yes, okay, so we want ourselves a layout engine item. Public protocol layout engine item. Went well, stopped a little early because you didn't know where to proceed next because the tutorial following didn't now draw the rest of the hour moment and you were a little lost. Yeah, it's always fun when tutorials do that. Alright, what did we say we needed? Engine page. So we need an ID. There's a UUID, read only. Var selected ball set and get set. Var layout engine is going to be a canvas layout engine. Probably want to name it like that, which means we're going to need to rename it in layout engine page. And we wanted a layout frame. I believe it's going to be a get. Layout engine page, layout engine link. My brain my body decided to wake me up at, is it 6 a.m. or 6:30? I think it may be 6 a.m. And then I did that thing where, you know, you don't fully go back to sleep, but you're asleep enough that time passes very quickly. It was one of those things if I was sort of snoozing, like just led there, awake, but closed my eyes and then woke up again, and by that point it was like 7:45. So it's weird when that happens. It's sort of like you aren't aware of like going back to sleep or anything, but time seems to just go super quickly. But yeah, I didn't have to get up. Well, I did have to get up because I needed to go shopping. So, but tomorrow, hopefully, I don't need to get up if I need to lie in a bit. But by that point, it's Monday, and therefore Doig Swift, and therefore I do need to get up. Curse that bird and bear. Yeah, it doesn't. I agree, since it doesn't make you any less tired. But oh well, right. We got the ID selected, canvas layout engine, and yeah, layout frame. And I don't think there's anything else we need. So we are going to first make these both conform to new engine item. I'm to you this morning, conscious at 8 AM, then dozed a small amount of sunlight. It was nearly 8:30. This was, like I say, I think I woke up at 6 and closed my eyes, and when I opened them again, and like I say, I closed them and I was just there, think I was lying awake, but then when I rolled over and checked the clock, it was 7:45. And it's like, hey, where's like 1 hour 45 minutes gone? Right, so that conforms to that, okay. Layout engine page is where we are going to need to make a tweak, because this we're going to rename to canvas layout engine. For some reason you woke up before 8, fully awake, and haven't been fully awake in forever. Yeah, fully. I wish I could wake up fully awake, but it takes me until like, well, afternoon. But even now I'm still yawning, so. Hey Bread Monster, how are you doing? Right. I think we should be good. Layout engine item. We make it conform for that. So let's see if this builds. I'm ready, fantastic. How about me? I am doing pretty well. Less tired than yesterday, even though I'm still tired. No, yeah, the stream seems to be working okay. Now, at least. It was not very good earlier, which is why I was a bit late starting. Right. Layout, engine page, layout engine item. We're all good there. So now, I want to rename. How good is this going to be? Gets it there, gets it there. Canvas layout engine. There, you are getting it. Good job, Xcode. You managed to do. You had one job, Xcode, and you managed to do it. You managed to correctly select stuff. Right, so this is going to be selected items. And we can change that to layout engine item. Right, let's build and run and just make sure that works. Ew. Oh yeah, because yeah, we're gonna have to do this one property at a time. So we want selected items, which is going to be a layout engine item. Oh, thank you, Benevolent Light. It's much appreciated. I'm actually working on improvements to the model. I'll show those off a bit later, but I'm currently remodeling and texturing and improving the rigging so I can do little animations and improving the face. And yeah, it's I'm pretty pleased with how it is now, but I've still got a lot more to do. So that is what I do towards the end of the streams when I get a bit bored. Well, not bored, but my brain stops working on the difficult coding and I switch to the I wouldn't say easier, but it's a bit more creative visually coding of doing the overlay. Right. Cannot convert internet expression of tap layout engine page to canvas layout engine item. Okay. Yes. Let's just rename that to old layout engine item. We're gonna change that in a little bit, but hopefully right, so that is going to be fixed. That isn't. Yeah, so we're gonna change these. Right, so select. Let's rename all these for now. Oh, we can't rename that. Can we? Yeah, that's not gonna do that. So rename, select items, deselect items, and these are gonna be layout engine item. Engine item. This we can rename. Alright, selecting that. Not finding those or those. Any of those. Right, we're going to rename this to items in Canvas Rect. This we're going to rename to item at canvas point. Modified items. Actually, that would just be items, items, items. Okay. So we can move that in there. You're still sitting on an idea for yours. You just have to learn how to do everything. But what else is new? Yeah, it takes a while to learn it, but I mean, I've just done it bit by bit. I relearned how to 3D model because I used to do some 3D modeling when I was a teenager and then never touched it for about 20 years, and then got back into doing it and followed a few Blender tutorials online and picked up Blender, and then just started building up the robot. The Unity side was actually a bit easier. Like learning Unity's taken a bit of a while, but the actual most of it's easier because it's programming. So right. So we have all these. But yeah, I usually work on the overlay on stream. I say usually towards the end of streams. So I'm happy to show you around what I've got and show you how it works. Oh, they need to stay pages. And yeah, and show you how it all works and everything. So, right, so we have all that. So, I'm going to guess 40 to 50 compiler errors. Ooh, only 14. That cannot be right. Well, actually, no, because a lot of these will actually now be working correctly. Right. We now need to update a bunch of these. So pages, that's all good. Okay, see you in a little bit, Kieran. Right. I don't think I am muted, am I? It's be coming through. Okay, well, yeah. Yeah, the mouth is currently hooked up to the audio. Because normally I have it coming through Wavelink. And then I have different software that routes all of my desktop audio and everything into OBS. Unfortunately, at the moment, that seems to have broken again. So I now have the music coming through Wavelink. This will all be solved when macOS 13 comes out, because you can actually capture desktop audio on the Mac with macOS 13 in OBS. But until then, I'm having to go through Wavelink, and unfortunately I also have to use Wavelink for ooh, there's a thought. I've had an idea. So what if... Because at the moment, the way I'm listening to the music is it's coming through the monitor mix here. What if I did that? Then that is technically just the microphone coming through the monitor mix at the moment. But if I do that, and let me just try something in OBS. And I switch that. Okay, I've got a way to fix this all. Fantastic. So when we get round to that, what I will do is I can disable all the audio output in the monitor mix. So I'm only hearing the microphone through the monitor, but also the rest of the computer audio through the monitor. At least the rest of the computer audio that is not like set up in here. But if I set OBS to output that, then I can hear it. So then I can potentially use the monitor mix as the source for the mouth. So it's only getting the voice. This would all be easier if you could just add another output here. But yeah, that could work. Okay, we'll try that later. Right, so... Right. So, updating the item under the mouse. The item under the mouse, but we need the link. So... we could rename this to... There we go. Hover state. And then what we can do, guard let item equals self.item at canvas point. Else self.item under mouse equals nothing, return. And then we can do if let item, if let page equals item as no, do layout engine page. In fact, I could, yeah, the else will be handled. I need the else there anyway, so I might as well just do like that. Okay, so that is fixed. Right, so for layout engine item, extension array where element is an engine item. Canvas count you. Canvas layout view, canvas layout page. No, layout engine page. Too many words jumbled together, all in different orders. And this is going to be a layout engine link, and we do link, and we do the link. Okay. So here we can do dot pages and dot first page. If so that needs to be items. Yeah, what we're to do. Let pages. Oh. Yeah, let pages equals items dot pages. And we can also do if pages.count is greater than 0 here, so that we're not updating the links if we have no pages. We could probably do the same here. And that's probably going to need to change to items, but we can do that in a bit. Right. Canvas selection event, and that needs to change to attention item. Layout engine item cannot conform to equatable. Okay. Hmm. Can I make it? Oh. Fix that. And the layout engine cannot conform to equatable. Okay, let's make that a class. Public class. Layout engine is equatable. So for ID, we've got let ID in it. If ID. Oh. And we will add protocol for equatable. Have that in there, and left hand side the ID equals right hand side the ID return. And then we want to go to light engine page. So we've got redundant conformers there. We can get rid of that. We can get rid of that. That wants to set those and then go super D. Get rid of that. Click override bar. Don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need that. And that needs to be override. And after all that is said and done, nope. Right. Hey. We've got a selection. We've got this is, let's rename this to item. Let page equals item layout engine page. And then we'll move the page to the front. Ooh, okay. No, that all needs rewriting. We can get rid of that. What? Oh. Okay. That's probably going to, yeah, that's going to override that. So here we're just going to change this to be a get. And no ability to set. Self used before. Oh, not that. That's what I want. Oh. This all needs rewriting. I mean, not entirely rewriting, but mostly rewriting. Okay, here we go. So we're going to get our item. If there's no item there, it's a canvas selection event. We're good. If let's right, what we're probably going to do, private func create page. Wow. Yeah, create page mouse event context for location CG point in layout engine. Layout engine. However, create mouse event context for page location. I'm going to have a private func create mouse event context for link. Layout engine page location CG point in layout engine layout. I'm going to rename that back to page, and then we're going to get rid of that, and then this is all going to move down. And then what we're going to do, rename that back to item, and if let page equals item as our engine page, we return self page location layout engine. Else if let link equals item as layout engine link, we're going to do the same for the link. Otherwise, return nil. Return nil there. Okay. Why not complaining? Because that needs to be a layer attention link. Okay, and then what we want here is just I mean, there is really only if we get the item at the point. Then we just want to return a select and move event context. We're going to pass the link in, even though it says page. And that's got a component. Oh. Select and move event context. Double click one to select all descendants and yeah, we may just have to create a separate context for links. So let's change that to nil. Aye. Okay. Okay. What do we need here? Keyboard, move page, don't care. Remove needs to become remove item. So let's get this done. So here we're going to do let pages. This needs to change to selected items, and let pages equals items dot pages if guard pages dot count is greater than 0, else return nil, and that can be pages. Over here we want to rename this to remove item. Event context. That needs to be an item. That needs to be an item. Items. Items. The accepted keycode contains the keycode and self the items account is greater than 0. Change it to items and we should be good. We are. So all we need to do is create ourselves a context for selecting a link. And then we should be good. Hopefully. Okay, I am going to go get myself a fresh cup of tea because it is that time of the stream when I need to take a quick break. So I'm going to step away, just reset my brain. We've got that bit done, so get this bit done, and then hopefully this will let us get deletion working. Because if we could get deletion done by the end of today, that would be good. And then what else do we need to do to plan for drag linking? Yeah, we could at least get the plan out for drag linking and then be working on that tomorrow. So we will see. I may end up starting earlier tomorrow depending on what I get done in the morning. So we will see. Anyway, I need more caffeine. So I will go fetch caffeine. I recommend you fetch drink, caffeine, go have a nice stretch, just get a little bit of fresh air or whatever. I will be back in about 5 minutes and I will be running some ads during the break just so we can get rid of those pre-roll ads. So feel free to mute, ignore them. They are just a necessary evil of Twitch. Anyway, see you in a bit. Okay, I am back. So let us get into this. So what we want to do is create ourselves a new context. So I've our event context. So what I basically use to abstract away all the stuff that you can do when you click a mouse, when you press a button and so on the keyboard. It just helps you manage all that. So we want go here and select link event contacts. Right. Canvas mouse event context. Right, so we want init with link, editable, and apologies if I go a bit quiet here because I'm getting into the flow with this. You'll see how quickly I can work when I'm actually in the flow. You can tell when I'm getting in the flow because I can really notice how quickly I am typing. I mean, part of this is copying stuff, so it makes it a bit easier. Does actually use it here. So if our modifiers contains shift, then if self.link dot selected, Right, so we don't care about the last location, we do care about initial location. Yeah, and optional. Okay, so if you click, then we do that. You click and do that. But if you have a multiple selection, and we click and do that, we undo it on the mouse up. Okay. Do location event. Once I get this written, I'll actually go through the select and move event because you can see just how many different intricacies there are. If layout dot selected items is greater than 1. And of dot initial location equals location and not self dot did shift select, then layout dot select self dot link extended selection false. Okay. Dot count. Okay, before we start going through getting this working, let's have a look at, in fact, we'll move it over there, get rid of that. Let's have a look at this and I'll show you how this works. So let's say you do a mouse click. Well, first we go to the canvas view and mouse down. We do a bunch of stuff here, but then we go to the layout engine down event. Now the reason I've done it like this is that all of this is AppKit, so it's Mac specific, but the layout engine is not Mac specific. It is, in theory, it could be ported to iOS fairly easily. But what we're going to do is go and do a down event. We go into here, and all this does on the down event is we use our event context factory to create a mouse event for the location. Then we tell that event context perform the down event. When it's dragged, we tell it to perform the dragged event. On mouse up, we perform the up event, and then we do a few things and clear it out. And the reason we've done this is that it helps split this up because, like for mouse, you would have selecting and moving. You've got resizing. You've got select, because all the things I can do with mouse, I can drag to select, I can select things, I can shift select, I can click and drag, I can do all sorts of, like I can resize. So there's all sorts of things that I can do. So how this works is it first goes into create mouse event context. So we go in here, and this is what we were editing before. So if it is a link, then all you can do is select a link. You can't move it, you can't do anything like that. So if there's nothing selected, we do a canvas selection event, which is this. If we're on the page, we first bring the page to the front. Then we see, okay, what component of the page was selected. Was it the title bar? Was it the content? Or was it some resizing stuff? If it's the title bar or content, we can do a select and move. Or if it's one of the resize areas, then we do a resize event. So then we create them, we return them. So let's have a look at select and move. So you may think this should be easy because you can click, and you can click. And that is the simple case. If I am here and I mouse down, you see I select here. So I mouse down, don't drag, and mouse up. But I can also mouse down, drag, and up. I can also shift click, but also drag and up. Or I can shift click to deselect, or I can shift click and then I can just single click. But you notice mouse down, I haven't done it yet because I may be dragging it. And then if I'm up, I don't want to deselect it. But if I do that without mousing up, I want to. So there's so many little subtleties. So we have here, we first check, is the user holding the shift key? If they are, and the page that they've clicked on is selected, we deselect it. Otherwise, we select it, extending the selection. So that means that we don't throw away the current selection. And then we mark select shift true. And the reason we want that is that we don't want to do this selection if the user shift selected. If the user clicked on something and there are still multiple pages selected and they haven't moved the mouse, but they did shift select or double click, then we don't want to actually erase it all and just select one thing. So you've got to take that into account. Then we have double clicking, which is currently broken, so I'll have to fix that. Well, I think that's broken because of the descendants thing. Let's see, we have, if you haven't shift clicked, you haven't double clicked, but you click over a link, then we want to open that link. Otherwise, we'll just select it. And then we have dragged event, which is, okay, are you dragging the page? Okay, well, we need to update where the page exists. And then on the mouse up, we need to do things such as have a stop editing pages, because oh yeah, the double click. We only do the multiple, we only select everything on the descendants, but if you double click on the actual page, we start editing that page. So that's something I didn't show. It's like, okay, double clicking on the title bar should be selecting basically everything in the path. But if I double click on here, now I'm starting editing. So there's so many things. And if you took this and then threw in canvas selection on top of that, and then threw in page resizing, which is even bigger because it's got to handle all sorts of different resizing. And for example, this can resize anyway, but you can also I add support for option. I did actually in the end. Yeah, I'm not dealing with the modifiers. Well, I mean, that's certainly something that I could do where you hold option and it resizes in both directions. In fact, I think I've done that on... No, I haven't done it on there actually. What do you know? Thought I had. But yeah, so you resize this and that's fine. I can resize like that. But here I need to aspect fit it. And then you've got to handle minimum sizes and all stuff like this. There's just so many things. So it's just splitting them up into these event contexts that deal with as few things as possible. Like the resizing is great because it's fairly basic. That is if you are clicking on the resize handles. The select and move is basically if you're clicking on any other part of a page. Select link is fairly easy. It's if you're clicking on a link. Canvas selection, well, this is where we need to, you drag over stuff and it is saying, okay, set the selection on the layout to draw that. And we set the selection rectangle. But you also want to actually select things and then it gets complex. So for example, we have this here. So if I drag and select, it selects it all. But if I shift drag, you notice it hasn't deselected this. So I'll drag over there. In fact, let's do it down here. So I'll do here and it selected that, but I'm holding shift and suddenly we're no longer selecting that. But if I release shift, it now selects that. So it's sort of toggling it off unless I stop holding shift. And then, so there's so many little subtleties with these sorts of things that you've got to get in there. It's a lot to fit in. So right. So now we can start implementing link selections. So what we need to do is in Canvas Layout Engine, item, at canvas point, we have link at canvas point. Where is that called? Nowhere. So we're going to check the pages first because odds are that is what people are going to be looking for. Otherwise, we'll go through the links. And then we can delete that. And hopefully build and run. No, we fail. ID is inaccessible due to internal protection. No, it isn't. Oh, because I switched it to a class. That engine item. When you switch it to a class, suddenly all of these end up needing to become public. Cannot convert type, layout engine. Not click location as layout engine page. Because if it's not a page, then we don't care about editing that page. Canvas layout engine has no remember selected items. Yes, it does. Okay. Now I have realized I'm not actually doing anything for it selected. Right. So, arrow, page arrow view. Draw helper, draw. Arrow. Right, so let arrow color going to be known as color. If arrow dot highlighted equal well, if it's highlighted, then arrow color equals system blue. Else arrow color equal dot control accent color. Else arrow color equals self dot line color. We just want the border color. Which is going to be optional. Border color equals white. Border color equals. We'll do white with alpha component 0.6 and border color equals nil. Nope, that should be else if arrow dot dot selected. Okay, let's see what this. Okay, so we don't seem to be selecting. I want to go here. Let this build. Okay, so we're not even getting to there. Why not? Want our context factory. Okay. Oh, because we're not actually creating that, are we? Canva. No, we want select link event context with our link editable equals. Do we even need editable? Let's pass it in just in case. Just realised I made this fresh cup of tea. I haven't actually drunk any of it yet. And that's how you really know you're in the zone. You have a fresh cup of tea and you don't actually drink any. Alright. Nope. Hey, it's selected. It's selected. Okay, so deselection is not working. Interesting. How am I doing deselection then? Of a page? There's nothing there. Yeah, layout deselect. Aha. Deselect all. Self-selected items. Selected items is just page. Okay. Pages equal. Oh. Items equal. That and then we're going to do items dot append contents of self dot links dot filter. Oh, that's a fair point. I wrote that so long ago. I can actually update that now. So long ago, we didn't have the ability to use key paths in filter. Okay. You are? No exact matches in. Oh, because that is a layout engine page, I need to explicitly state is layout engine item, because otherwise things don't work. Oh god, Xcode, why must you drop errors for things that are not errors? Like, oh, here are some compiler errors, but the compiler's going to compile them just fine. Alright, so I do that. Okay, so I can select that, I can select that, I can select that, I can shift select that, I can shift select that. I can go there, and okay, so we're not updating the links when I drag there. So layout item, items in canvas. Hmm. Cold tea is a crime. Yeah. Though the punishment is to drink the cold tea. So right. So what I'm wanting to do here. So the layout frame intersects that. And this Bezier path. Can you do... Which is a problem. So we can see whether it contains a point. The problem is there's a potentially infinite number of points in a rectangle. So we can... In the... How are we going to do this? Because we can see whether we are inside of the bounds, but that's... You can come at it from an angle where you've not actually got it selected. Let's have a look at CG path. Alright, so copy, we've got, in fact, let's go up here. Path contains point. No, don't care about that. Let's equal add is empty. Path is rect. Path contains point. Path intersects path. For NS Bezier path does not have an intersects. Let's do a quick search. This Bezier path intersects path, because we can create another path quite easily for the rectangle. We just need to make sure they intersect. Away. Okay, so we're gonna have to do it on CG path. Okay, we can do this. And then Bezier path plus M3 extensions. Intersects with other path. This Bezier path. And what we're going to do is return self.cgpath. Wait, where's it that? Interaction. Copy by intersecting path. Copy created by intersecting path and mask path. After by unioning path by. Oh, cool! You can do all your. Oh, you can do all your Bezier path Boolean stuff with CG path. Oh, CG path's so cool. CG path's the cool kid. Okay, self.cgpath dot intersects other path dot cgpath. Do we have a property? It's the winding rule, isn't it? Non-zero, even, odd. do self dot winding rule equals even odd. Okay, and we actually want to return a boolean here, and then we go back, and what we'll do is actually we can simplify this a bit. Web page.layout frame intersects canvas rect, which means that we can eliminate some stuff there. We could do for link in self.links where link dot layout frame intersects canvas rect, and we'll do if link dot path intersects with, we'll do let canvas rect path equals ns bezier path with rect canvas rect. We may need to tweak this. But we will see. Ooh. Yeah. We can't use NS Bezier path. We're gonna have to use CG path. No, actually no, we're using NS Bezier path there. Okay, we're just gonna have to import AppKit. Well, we will fix these later on because we'll create some cross-platform stubs for these. I want to be 9181. But that will be when we do some iOS development, which will probably be in the new year. I'm going to do 2022.2, this release. The next release is basically all the marketing, updating the website, improving the buying experience, and just doing a few tweaks here and there. And then next year is focusing on an iOS version with an eye to launching for potentially iOS 7, iPadOS 17. Now we will need to fit a Mac release in there, but we can just PG path intersects path. We'll just do it. We don't care about it for this case, and we can always fix it later if we need to. What? PG path. Oh. We can't do that. Because they're all macOS 13, iOS 16. Ah. CG Path's no longer the cool kid. Right, what can we do? Okay, so there's something here. How to determine if NS Bezier paths intersecting Coco. What do we want? Create the necessary context. Create a 16-bit one component not alpha graphics port. The context, it will be black. Get the context to the path you want to test. Fill all the paths which you want to test with black color. Okay. We have a graphics port of 1 pixel width and height. So this is our test context. So clear the context. Move it to the path you want to test. Fill all the paths which you want to test with white color. Get the image and draw it in the test context with something like, you create the image, 1 pixel square 011, EG context draw image, test context, 1 pixel square, click paths image. Much faster than doing composition drawing of alpha values, much faster than testing on the pixels of the image. The image scan is made generally hard to accelerate. Oh, I get it now. Well, at least I think I do. Yes, okay. I understand what this is doing now. And it seems to be fairly clever. Okay. Let me move my mic there. Let's see if I can bring this up and I'll explain how this trick is working. Right. Oh yeah. Helps if I plug in my iPad. No, I'm going to have to restart the iPad. Grumble, grumble. Let this restart. Once it is started, can bring that up. That up. There we go. Okay. So what we are wanting is if we have, let's say, a rectangle here, and we have our interaction path here. Now we can see that these don't intersect. So what we can do with this is if we want to test that these intersect, we have a drawing context. And one way of doing it is to basically what one of the people up here was saying is you basically color this with 1 color, color this with a blue color, both of them 50% alpha, and then you go through all of the pixels and you see, is this white? Is this 50% this color? Is this 50% that color? If all the pixels are those 3, they don't intersect. If it's any other color, they do intersect. Well, that's time consuming because you got to draw that and then you got to iterate over every single pixel. What this other guy is doing is very clever. Or it's not like ridiculously clever, but it is rather smart. So what he's saying is, what you can do is something called a clip. And when you clip, you're basically saying, only allow drawing inside this certain bounds. So we could clip by this rectangle here. And then if we try to draw our path, then it's not going to draw it. But let's say our clip rectangle is here. And then we try to draw this in white. Well, it will be black behind, but if we just invert it, imagine that it is the other way around, then what we can do is it will actually draw this bit in here. And you may think, well, how is that useful? Well, the reason that is useful is that what he then does is he then goes and draws this image here into a 1 pixel square. And what the system does is it does the scaling. And what he is suggesting is the scaling will happen on the GPU. Therefore, or at least the image processing unit. Therefore, it will be a lot faster. And the key thing is, if the background is black and you're drawing this thing in white, like this bit here, like this arrow there in white, so you're doing these the other way around, then, in fact, let's do them the other way around. Let's color all this black, and then we'll color this in white. So that is what it will look like. Now, if this is all black, as it would be for right color, as it will be for this one up here, because we haven't actually drawn any white in it, then the color of this pixel is going to be black. If any part intersects when it scales down, the color of this is probably not going to be black. It's going to be like some very, well, it may be a very dark grey, but it is not going to be pure black. So what you can do is just see, is this 1 pixel black? If it's black, there's no intersection. If it's any other shade of grey, there's an intersection. That is rather smart. So what we are going to do is we're going to have a go at implementing this. Hopefully that made sense to everyone, but what we want is dress sports. How old? 2013. Okay. So CG context. Oh. How do we want this? I have just realized that paths need to be on the same they need to be in the same coordinate space, which right, so we don't want to intersect with the other path, we're just going to intersect with rect, CG rect. That's all we care about. We're going to do CG context. So depth is going to be nil. The width is going to be self dot. So the size we want is going to be this of the image. What do we want here? We need the image to be the size of both the rectangle and the path. Because we're going to clip to the rectangle. So yeah, it needs let width equals the max of self dot bounds dot width. No, max x and rect dot max x, and let height equals min self dot bounds dot max y. Oh, that needs to be max as well. Rect dot max y. So what we need to do is we've got a point at, oh no. Yeah, because if the rectangle is, and if the let's do rect intersects path. Does CG path into does Bezier path intersect? Let's just have a look at this. Fire away, Bread Monster. I'm just having a look. Where's the path collider come from? How do you make path in Blender that looks like a tube, like bigger sizes? I'm not sure what you mean there. This code here seems to be importing stuff that doesn't exist. So that is not of much use. Right, so if I stick it on a rectangle, and I can make an image the size of the rectangle. Or rather the size of the max size of the rectangle. I can then... Right, no, we need to go back over to the iPad because I need to do some pondering. Okay, let's clear this. So what we're going to need is we need our intersection thing like that, and this is going to be in a bounding box, and this path is in if that's the 0, 0 point, then it's going to be drawn in that context. We have a rectangle going to be drawn, for example, here. If that's a 0, 0 point, we could have our thing here. Image is big enough to fit the maximum point with the 0. And then you got your 0 point, you got your maximum. And then if we translate this into this coordinate point, then clipping, it's going to be up here. So therefore when we draw that, that's not going to be drawn. It's wrong thing. Whereas if the box is there and it's converted to this point and we clip, okay, so we'll do it that way. Let's see, you know, in add and go to curve and path and how to make it like a tube. So like extruding a shape along a path, bread monster, is that what you're meaning? I'm not entirely sure how you do that in Blender because I've never actually done that. If you search Blender extrude along path, it might show up a tutorial somewhere for you, but I've never actually done that myself, I don't think. Okay, so we have our Bezier path. So we're going to do phone intersect with, we'll do other path. as a path, because this should work with other path, and we can return bool. So we are going to let graphics context equal CG context nil. The width is going to be the self dot bounds dot max x, self dot bounds dot max y. I want it to be 16 bits. Bytes per row is going to be 2. If I go to their page, I wonder if it will have something on here on GitHub. As they said, they posted this to GitHub, but right. Why is this taking so long? GitHub / use factory. Yeah, that seems to be going okay. GitHub seems to be loading slowly for some reason. Okay. So color space is going to be let's do extended gray. Bitmap info, we'll do that. Release callback nil. Release info nil. Okay, so that's loading there. Okay, so let's have a look here. Move Bezier library. Move Bezier library. Path collider. All I want to see is where, however, how is he making his context with no that bytes per row is bits per pixel times width. So bytes per row is going to be 16. No, it doesn't seem like he's done that right, because it should be 2 bytes. 16 bits per component. Should be 2 bytes, because if you did a full, like, 32-bit, that would be 4 bytes. I think he's done that wrong. Create device gray. Create device gray. Okay, so we set. So here's set the color space. CG color space, create device gray. So we'll. Okay, so we don't even need those ones. Okay, so we've got that, and then he is doing graphics context, set fill color space is going to be our color space. Graphics context, set stroke color space is going to be a color space. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we need to guard that. Make sure it is set. Else return false. Now we can do that and do that. We can do that. Okay, we'll let width equal that, let height equal that. So what we can do here is first we can do guard self dot bounds dot intersect other path dot bound. Well, not if self dot bounds intersect that, return true. Otherwise, we do the more complex test. Graphics context dot clear. What on earth? Now we want to graphics context dot add path. Right, so we're going to clip to ourself. Okay, so we do have to add the path, self.cg path, and then graphics context, clip, and graphics context, add path, other path, graphics context, dot fill path. And then they get an image. Oh yeah, that needs to be over path dot cg path. That image equals make image. And then we want we could do a static var test private static var test context. It's going to be a CG context equals one bytes per row. 2. No, we'll do. Actually, no, because we need to do some other stuff. So what we'll do is private static func create a scale context. And that will do this of size, CG size, which is going to return CG context. Okay. That needs to return. Actually, we don't even need that. We can get rid of that. Bring that to there. To there. We'll delete that up to there. Add these back in. And return the graphics context. And then here, we're just going to do size.width, size.height, size.width. And then up here we can do self.create grayscale context of size, CG size, width. Right. And the test context is going to return self.create context of size, CG size of width 1, 1. That needs to be an int, and an int, and an int. Okay, so that is some progress there. Covariant type itself cannot be referenced from Bezier path. Great grayscale context. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. So we get our image, and then we want well, we want to make sure that we have both our contexts, otherwise there's no point doing anything. Let test context equals self.test context. Then we're going to do test context dot clear grect 0011. That needs to be test, not text. Draw image. Which is going to be our image in CG rect 0011. Else return nil, not return false. And then we want test context dot data dot Unsafe mutable raw pointer. Unsafe mutable raw pointer. Just want to get the raw value. I'll do that equal, well, is not equal to 0. Is there no way to get hold of the integer value of the data? Check with check unsafe mutable raw pointer not 0. Load from the memory reference. Okay. Okay, so I should be able to do load as data.load as uint8.self is not equal to 0. Except that's nil. So we want to guard let data equals test context.data else return false, and then we can do that. Okay, so hopefully that all works, because that was a bit of a pain. We want a canvas layout engine. And we want items in canvas rect. And we're going to do that intersect with the canvas rect path. Okay. And that's still not working. Oh, I know why. Because this needs the canvas rect offset by link dot frame dot origin dot x dot y, and they need to be minus. There we go. Now it's not entirely precise because we're doing the interaction rect, so it's basically the border, so we could make it more accurate, because if I bring up the, you'll see how accurate it is when I show arrow bounds. If I go like this, okay, so that, we're just doing the bounds. Oh, because I've done it the wrong way around in here. If that equals false, then we want to return false, because if they don't, the bounds don't intersect, we want to do that. Otherwise, we want to go down and do that. Okay. We'll do that. They don't intersect, they don't intersect, they still don't intersect. Okay, so now it's not working. Okay, I think I'm going to have to do some debugging of this off stream. I'm going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to do some 3D modeling, because I need to wind down with a little something fun. So we'll go and play around with the Pilkybot in 3D. So I will see you all in a few minutes. Okay, I am back. So, what we are going to be doing is playing around with the Pokebot. So I did some tweaks yesterday, and there's still more tweaks that need to be done. So in terms of the arms, what we are going to need to do is these can rotate all the way around. We can move out. We can move out like that. We can move up and down. Now we can rotate along the X, but I've also set it so we can rotate along the Z. Because your elbow can move up and down or in or out. Now it doesn't make sense for it to move that way. It's a robot, but we want it to be somewhat human in its capabilities. So we will set the minimum to be 0. So therefore it can go there, but it can't go beyond. Okay. And then on this one, we'll probably want to invert that, where the max can be 0. Okay. So we're good there. One thing I added was down here. Is we can actually rotate this around now. Now I've just realized that it does you can rotate all the way around, but it doesn't. I suppose there can be cases where it could make sense. But one thing I want to do potentially, what I was finding is if I go up here and I rotate this, I always want to do something where you're sort of scratching your head. Now to do that, I would have to bring this up, and then let's see, this one I would need to rotate forward a bit. And then the problem is, actually, yeah, that is rotating down like that. We need to be able, for your shoulder, you can rotate your elbow so that your elbow is either the inner point is pointing up or it's pointing down. You can even sort of twist it so you get almost 360 degree motion in your elbow. So you can almost elbow sort of goes back and it goes down and it goes in front and it goes up. Now at the moment the elbow can go like, we can do backwards and forwards, and we can go, I suppose, do we need the rotation if I actually revert what I was saying and then go like that? we could do that could go there, and then this could just basically we're moving this up, so this rotates as this rotates, and then we're just scratching sides of the head like that. Yeah, I think we can work with that, so I will bring that back. And then we want to actually bring that back to minus 105, and this one needs to allow it to go up to 105. So animations, I have somewhere. So I have my list here of animations that I want to do. So I bring this up. So with animations, I want to have 1 or 2 animations per emotion, and I want to be able to just trigger them. Some of them will be triggered when switching to an emotion, some of them will not be. So for the playing emotion, there's just going to be a wave. So we're able to press a button and have the Pokebot wave at you. When it's happy, I want to be able to have the Pokebot wave at you, but also sort of jump for joy. So it will sort of bounce up and down and just smile and wave its arms in the air. But worried, there's going to be sort of a flailing where the arms are almost like a Kermit flail, where they're up above and they're both sort of just going back and forth at the elbows, kind of just semi-randomly. And that could be good for worried and for angry. Could use the same animation for there. Confused is a scratching head, where it's just going to sort of scratch up the side of the head as sort of a what's going on here. For brain empty, there's no animation. For sad and surprised, I'm thinking you would grasp hands in front, because it's like sort of surprised is sort of like you'd grasp the hands like, ooh, that's interesting. Whereas the sad one, you grasp the hands, but they're probably going to come up a bit closer to the face, so there are probably going to be slight variations on that. Whereas the surprised is sort of like you'd grasp the hands much lower down on the body. We also need an animation to like reach out and grab an item. But there's a question of, do we have any other animations? So I wanted to put this to the chat, because if I want to allow 2 animations per emotion, well, the only one that's currently got 2 is happy. The grab item, it doesn't class as an animation per se, because that is going to be done on an interaction. But the question is, what other animations do people think could work for the various emotions? And there's also a question of idle animations as well. So the current idle animation is just me in Unity bouncing up and down. And that's good with the general state, but it would be good to have some just random idle animations that just happen from time to time. So if you have any suggestions for those, it will be interesting to see what we can come up with. So what we can do is base idle. Other, oh, we'd have random idle. And we'd have triggerable. So let's just copy these here. Right. So that doesn't make sense there. Right, so triggerable is grasp hands. Triggerable is grasp hands, touch head, flail, nose, and then a wave. So these I'm going to make bold. Yeah, so brain empty, let's stick down there because we don't care about that. So I think the base idle for playing is just going to be gentle bounce. I think for happy, we can have a faster bounce. Worried, we can have a faster bounce. Angry, we'll just have a gentle bounce. Angry. Confused can be gentle bounce. Sad can be what can we do for sad? Yeah, we'd probably do gentle bounce. And this can be a excited bounce. And brain empty is just nothing. Okay. Right, what can we do here? Random idle animations. You know, the idea sounds great, but it's like my brain is like, what can I do? I mean, we can just have look around. So that would work for plain, that would work for happy, that would work for worry. I mean, that would work for pretty much all of them. I mean, making scratch head just happen randomly and confused would make sense. Welcome back, Kieran. We're just working on what animations we want to do. Do an excited jump. We've worked out all the base idle, like whether it's just a gentle bounce or a faster bounce or like an excited bounce. Then we want random animations that will happen during idle. Ooh. What about for angry if we have what could we do for that? For the angry we could have the what could we have? I'm thinking something around like smoke and sparks for the angry. Just randomly have some like smoke appear. And sparks. Spin head, so we could just have it randomly do that. Probably not for confused. For angry it would. Surprised it would. Sad probably wouldn't. Wipe eyes. We can make that triggerable as well. Does anyone else have any ideas? Either for triggerable ones or for the random idle ones? And I suppose we could... I don't have a shutdown animation at the moment. I don't really have a shutdown state. At some point, what I would like to do is create almost like a sleep pod. Or like a charging station that I can go into And I'll just go into the charging station and power down as an option. But that's not something I really want to do at the moment. Yeah, I think we will. So, for the plane emotion, the only triggerable is a wave. I don't think there's any other real triggerballs that I'd need in there. If you're happy, you can wave, you can jump for joy. If you're worried, you can flail. If you're angry, you can flail. Confused, scratch head. Sad, you can grasp your hands or you can wipe your eyes. If you're surprised, you can grasp your hands. How about for angry? Shake fist at cloud. Angry man shouts at cloud. He's like, I just sort of, I'm angry. I look up and I just shake my arm at the heavens. Ooh. That could be a good one. Just randomly, I'm just there, and then just randomly just go, like look up and shake my head. I think, yeah, so shake fist at clouds, and then random idle is going to be a grr shake head. In fact, we could replace spin head with that. Yeah, I think that will do us on now. And I think, right, one thing I want to check here. So if I go like that, and I go like, I can go like that. So I could do that to sort of wipe a tear away. I am clipping through the screen there. May want to move the screen back a bit. But it's centered there, and it makes sense in there. I mean, the other options, right, so the other options I've considered. So the minimum size is fixed of the arms. So if we go back, and I bring that up, the arms cannot be any bigger, but one possibility is the pistons currently are just 2-step. We could make the pistons 3-step, which would allow it to telescope a lot longer. Another thing would be to potentially allow this ball, like the wrist, to rotate 90 degrees so that, for example, these here could rotate there, and like your arm, like your hand can flex back and forth on your wrist. Currently I've just got opening and closing the things, but it could be useful to do that. I have and then I could rotate this ball joint as well, which would allow me to just have the elbow close, and then I rotate the ball joint, which makes it a lot easier because then I only have 1 degree of freedom in the actually flexing the elbow, but full degree of freedom in the angle I want to go at. Yeah, so I think that's what we need to do. We need to make it so that the wrist can rotate, the elbow can rotate, and we have more like extension length on the pistons. Which does probably mean that I need to undo all of these bones because I'm going to have to redo them all again. Because I need to work differently and I need to remodel some stuff, but yeah, I mean, it's trial and error. It's the only way we're going to find out how to do these things. So yeah, we'll do that. Though looking at the time, I think I am probably going to head off because I am getting very, very hungry. And I want to get some food. So we may work on this tomorrow. Yeah, we'll work on this tomorrow. And then what I want to do for the animation is I want to get just the basic bouncing animations in, and then we can try and get those into Blender and see what happens with those. So let's see if anyone is online. Uli's online, so I can send you off to Uli while I go and get some food. So chat, I think the stream may be buggy. I don't know, Sinister. How did those get there? I guess we will never know. Will we? Will we, Sinister? We will never know. I will never be able to look at the Twitch activity feed and figure out how those got there. Oh well, it is one of the great mysteries of the universe. Anyway, I want to thank you all for coming along. As I say, I may start streaming a bit earlier tomorrow. I haven't decided yet. It mostly depends on how much stuff I get done in the morning and just what I'm feeling like. But yeah, I mean, this next week is basically my week off from contract work, which means I've got a lot of stuff to get done. And I also, one of the things I need to get done is resting. So that may involve just not streaming as much. I just need to recover from some stuff and get some nice relaxation in. So let's get our raid set up. Flash raid, Uli witness. What? Flash raid, Uli witness. Raid. There we go. Third time's a charm. So, I hope you have all had a good time. We will be back tomorrow. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful rest of your weekend, and happy coding.